security to blockchain, and I guess in the Monty Python world they say, and now for something completely different. How many parents do we have in the room? Probably everyone who stayed is a parent. They're more interested in this for their kids than maybe they are from any enterprise payment standpoint. So how do you give your kids money? This is the question that we asked. So Tim Sheehan and I co-founded Greenlight about 4 years ago. We went out and asked about 150 parents this face-to-face, and how do you give your kids money? We found a very interesting pattern that parents really didn't have a good answer to that. They were like, oh, well, I set up this automatic transfer from this account to this account, and then I move it. But, oh, I give the kid an Amex card, and then it's $500 gone on video games. And I'm like, what the heck happened to the money? So we heard a lot of pain attached to this problem. So we went out and validated this and found there was a lot of pain with this problem. And the way parents were solving it, and this is still pretty true today still, although we're, I think, making a dent in this, it's cash all day, 86%. This is for parents in the US with children living at home under 18. Their cash is it, right? That's it. Allowances, kid needs to go to the movie, kid needs frozen yogurt, kid made a bet with his buddy, whatever. Bank accounts, very, very, talk about friction, right? You have to go, I don't know about you guys, if you wanted to open a savings account with SunTrust, like I did for my kids 10 years ago, they had to have the child's social security card, my social security card. It was more friction than opening an account for myself to get a savings account for my kids so they could slide 20 bucks across the table and open an account. So tons of friction, sharing the card, and of course prepaid has a lot of problems and fees generally that is not working. So January 1st, 2017, we launched Greenlight, and we launched it with the focus on this consumer problem. It was solving the parents' problem of how they give their kids money. We didn't actually launch it with some crazy vision of change the world and teach all the kids financial literacy and investing and make them all millionaires. We really just wanted to solve the problem that we as parents had, which is the kids lose the money, they spend it on stupid crap all the time. I don't ever know where it went. They don't know where it went. There's all these like problems that we have as a parent. So we launched Greenlight. The first version of the product solved that problem really, really well. You could send the child money anywhere instantly. So the parent would sign up. First of all, we always focus on the parents. The parent is always signing up, not the child. We'll get to that in a minute. But parent signs up. You connect your bank account. Either we use a Plaid integration, so use your bank credentials. We actually built an instant ACH system, our own little risk scoring system, because it's not a lot of dollars and we could manage it pretty well. Instantly send your child money. The child gets a notification. Dad just sent you $20 to your spend anywhere, and the child can use the card. So it is a prepaid reloadable card. There's probably gonna be a lot of questions about how we've done this with KYC and everything else, and I'll give you the quick version. We open the accounts in the parent's name. We open a primary account that's called the parent wallet, doesn't have a card. So that's the account that the parent is opening. And then we create sub-accounts under the primary account that are for each child. So it's not, you don't have to KYC the child, you don't have to enter kids social, very low friction onboarding. But we also created some pretty cool controls on the card. We built our own platform to do this so that a parent could, for example, rather than just toggling the card on and off, that the money can come out in an ATM, parent can say, you have $25 that you can take out as cash, and that's it. The rest, I want to know where you're swiping the card or using it online. We also built store-level controls. So we heard from parents, they wanted to control where the card is used, which was really interesting because you thought parents are all about empowering kids and all this kind of, let's support them and love them. No. When it comes to money, they want to know exactly where that money is going to be spent. So we actually created a way where Greenlight's platform being integrated into the auth stream, we approve or decline every transaction based on the rules the parent has set. So we can now do some pretty neat things even around creating our own MCC codes where we've created like an online video games, right? So here's the list of merchants we want to include in this. Parents can say, here's a bucket of merchants where there's a budget for these merchants, and the card will stop working for those merchants. We also have put a lot of nuance into how this works. So this child, for example, has $25 at Target and then $20 to spend anywhere. The default behavior in Greenlight, and this is since version 1, is that the kid, how does the kid think about that? Well, I got 20 bucks to spend anywhere. I want to spend $40 at Target, so I should be able to combine that. They don't use the word waterfall, but we would, right? It actually would waterfall out so they can spend the 25 at Target plus another 20 because that's their money at Target. but now we've got it where parents wanted more control over that, even more. So now you can say, here's 25 to Target, but that's all you get at Target, and you cannot use your spend anywhere money at Target. So we launched this product, and it's now been just 2 years. So we're still a very young startup, 2.5 years in market, and it has worked. Turns out. So we were very happy with 2017. We beat all of our projections. 2018, we were just beyond excited, and we were just looking at the numbers. In August, we will add more families in this month than we added in all of 2017. And this is about 3 weeks old. It's already gone to the next level from that. So it was this great, like, amazing experience where the product just was pulled along by the market. Parents didn't need to be told why their kids need a debit card they can control from their phones. You just say, Greenlight is a debit card for your kids, you control from your phones, and everybody says, I need it. But the coolest thing happened once we launched it. We started listening to how parents would talk about Greenlight on social media, because a lot of our marketing was happening on Facebook. And they were saying, Greenlight is how I teach my kids about money. And they were saying, Greenlight is helping me have conversations with my kids that I wouldn't have had otherwise. And so very quickly we realized there's this much grander opportunity than just solving this problem of kid losing $5, in the backyard. It's really, we have an opportunity to help parents raise financially smart kids. We saw that very early. And so it's so fun to come to these events in Money 2020 and think about all the cool payments tech that we've built and all the other use cases we could use this for. But we've decided as a company that we're going to be mission driven, at least for the next 10 years, and we're going to focus on this, and that's what we're going to do. And if anybody wants to license our tech for those other things, we'll talk about that later, but this is what we do. And this is really, there's two parts of this which I think are important to focus on, because everyone thinks, and we've got some competitors starting to pop up now that I think we've validated the market, that think there's a great way to build a debit card for kids by focusing on the kids, because kids will share anything. Well, they will, but they don't actually have any money. They can't really pass KYC. They can't really sign up. They don't have the decision-making ability for these products. And so we are very intentional about focusing on the parents. The parents are our customers. When we think of the problems we want to solve, it's our problems. It's not the kids' problem. The kids getting money, that's not a problem for them, right? So Greenlight helps parents. And then what do we mean by financially smart kids? This is like so important to us that we want to talk through this in every presentation we give, every bank partnership, everything opens with this. This is the categories, if you will, of financial confidence that we think kids should have. Today's product does earning really well. So I can have a paycheck direct deposited to my Greenlight card. I can do chores. You don't just ask for money, you have to earn money, at least in my house. Savings, I'll show you how we do some savings. Even though it's a prepaid card, we do have an educational savings account built in. Spending, obviously we'll talk about that. Giving, we think it's very important to teach kids about giving to nonprofit and charity. In my house, all the kids have 10% of their allowance goes into the bucket that can only be given or swiped at nonprofit or charities or churches. And then what you'll see from Greenlight later this year, if we can keep the pace up, is a custodial brokerage account. We think the kids should learn about investing. That's really how you build true wealth, we think. My co-founder and I are very passionate about that, so we will have investing built in the product. And then not in the near future, but maybe in the next couple of years, you'll see a credit product from Greenlight. The reason for the credit product, the average age of Greenlight kids today is 13. And we see that at 18, 19, 20, they're still using the product, but they eventually phase out of it, right? They're going to graduate to something bigger. And so we think that there's an opportunity for us to build a very safe, financially healthy credit card for college students, where we've already got the parent and the child relationship established. How can we take that and put education on top of it so the child can begin to establish excellent credit? So this is really how we think about everything that we do. We filter it through this lens. And then, of course, learning is over all these. We think every way that we introduce a feature should be done in a way that teaches the kid. It really, really is important for us. But then we're also about to start introducing what we call educational challenges into the product, where kids can actually complete games and exercises to earn money, of course, because that's what we have that no other financial literacy product has, is real money. So I mentioned the store level controls. I'll quickly kind of go through this. Usually we love to do live demos because those are the best, but I've learned I just don't do live demos anymore. So you're getting screenshot demos. And any questions, please interrupt me as we go. There's one right there. That's right. So when a parent adds money to an ATM, we add a pop-up and says, remember to include enough for fees. They can be very high, especially at foreign ATMs. The parent has to do it. We haven't gotten to the scale yet where we're including them or comping it or anything like that. We just say, remember to add the fees. And then, of course, we get the money, like we'll roll over into Spend Anywhere, get the money. We'll roll back to the parent wallet if we have to. And then if we have to, we can even go to the parent's funding account, which is their primary checking account that they're funding. Not yet. We're working on those. Yes, ma'am. Oh, well, you kind of want the children to game it. It's all about the visibility, right? The child knows when they swipe the card, parent will get, both parents actually, you can add two parents, both parents will get a notification. And there is something magic in that transparency, that a lot of parents aren't using store level controls for their 16-year-old, right? They don't need to say you can only spend $25 at Target. The kid has $100 and they're going to spend it wherever they want. But the kid knows when I swipe it at Target, mom's going to see it. If I swipe it at whatever video games, mom's going to see it.
Can you give his money to somebody else and give that kid back?
Not yet. We will build P2P in a way that is Venmo with parental approvals, right? So the sender, parent must approve it, sends money, recipient, parent must approve it. We have the first version of this today. It's called Greenlight Gift. So anyone, any of you who have uncle, nieces, or grandkids, or whoever that you want to give money to, or even the neighbor's kid who babysits for you, greenlightcard.com/gift, and you can actually type in all their information and send them a gift, and it sends them a code, right? You can't actually look them up. It's all very hidden. But when they get a gift from you, their parent has to approve them receiving that gift. Yes, ma'am. Very low. Not yet. So you would have loved, everyone in this room, payments geeks in the world, love our first product spec. It was like 90 pages long, and we had geofencing. We had so many things, daily budget, hourly budget. My favorite feature that I still think we need to add to it is the curfew feature, which is at 10 p.m., the card only works for Uber, right? Like, come home. You're not swiping for any more beer or whatever the parent wants to set. So yeah, there's so much you can do, but we worked really hard to get a really simple user interface with so little friction that gets 80, hopefully 95% of the functionality that parents really need to solve the problem. And I think we've done that. Now you'll start to see us kind of add those additional features like the custom categories and the overflow, not overflow features of the budgets. So this is another one that we have. So change, what do you do with the change? So let's say I need to send the kid to the movies. I don't know what you would do now. My kids are 13, 11, and 7, so we're not doing a lot of movie trips on their own yet. But when you, let's say $50 to AMC theaters, that money can only be spent either on a ticket or popcorn. But after one swipe, you can say, okay, the leftover stays in AMC theaters, or I can say it goes to your savings, to the child's savings, so they're incented to save a little, maybe not buy the popcorn for $10 and keep a little bit of money in their savings, or I can say the change comes back to me. So parents love that. My co-founder's son, he's a sophomore in college. He said, Dad, with that feature, you're single-handedly destroying the savings plans of all teenagers in America. He's like, that's how we make money. We keep the change and we hide it. So again, kids have the app, parents have the app. We have the ability for children to request, kids to request, right? So if the kid is out and they need to add more money to the card, they can use the Greenlight app, type in, I'm at Froyo, I need $10 for Froyo. Parent gets a notification. Either mom or dad can approve that. The money is sent to the kid's card instantly. They can swipe the card, chip, whatever, Apple Pay, and it works instantly. So the request, approve, receive is a really important part of the product that we're pretty excited about. There's also, again, a lot of nuance in that. So there's spend and save money. If a child wants to move money from spend to save, it just goes. There's no parent approval. Money transferred complete. Like that money cannot be spent. It's in their savings bucket. If they want to take it out, oh, we send a request to dad. Dad will approve you moving $20 from your save to your spend. So things like that around these requests and the the gaming of the system, or the child fraud, sometimes we call. We didn't have biometrics until the last release a couple weeks ago, and we we actually have the fraud loss rate of kid fraud, kids grabbing mom's phone and adding money to their card. And then, of course, we get the call. I didn't authorize this. This is fraud. No, that's your kid. Look, we have the app. Like, you went into your app and you're like, I didn't do that. And you have to make it right. But that is pretty common. The best ones are when the kid calls pretending to be the parent. Those are just so good. So if there's any like voice recognition people here who could help us with that, and we could solve for this as a 12-year-old acting like a 40-year-old, I think that would be pretty fun. So alerts, of course, are really important. And just like, this is one of those things that to us who live in payments, this is a very, very, very basic feature. But for parents and kids especially, it's one of those really powerful things that just becomes like part of their daily life, and they can't live without it. So just one story that I don't always share this, but I think it's important to just be reminded at how some of these really basic things matter. We have a post that came to our Facebook page from a parent who said, my child has green light. It was one of the most recent school shootings. The child was at the school. The school went on lockdown. The kid was dismissed. She couldn't find the kid. The phones were all not working. The kid couldn't text or call, goes to the BP across the street, buys $1 of Powerade so mom would get an alert that they were okay. And she posted that, and she said, I've never been so thankful to see my kid eating junk food. And that's the kind of stuff where you're like, okay, this is pretty cool what we're doing. This really does become part of people's lives. Okay, so all the spending, they still have to earn the money. So just to talk through how we think about earning, the first thing we have is direct deposit. Now, the compliance people may ask, how do you let a child who you didn't KYC direct deposit their paycheck to a card who is owned by another person? So we solve this in a pretty neat way. We actually have the kid go into a little system and type their employer and their name and address, and then we actually verify their employment and a little bit of identity verification on that. So that's just not wide open. And again, our velocities are pretty small, like total card velocities for the prepaid program. So it's not big jobs. These are like flipping burgers, $100 a week kind of thing. We also built our own earning into the system so the kids can do chores. And the way the chores work is the parent gets a nudge the day before the chores are complete, says, did Chloe complete her chores? If she didn't, I go pause the allowance, and she doesn't get paid that week. So pretty cool. Another thing that just relates to kind of how parents use this, and how this is definitely not an affluent product like we thought. This is mass market, like whole income spectrum. We had a ton of requests in the early days for, I want to change the date of the allowance payment to match when I get paid as a parent. We were like, wow, that's pretty. So now you can set day of the month, you can do biweekly, whatever, you can do all that. And then, of course, the really fun stuff is when we get pictures from mom saying, this kid has never vacuumed ever. I've never seen him work so hard. Today he cleaned the basement so he can get him off Fortnite. I'm so glad for green light. And we're like, wow, that floor really is clean. I mean, he did pretty good. So saving. So this is my daughter, my 7-year-old. I have to include her in my demos. So saving today is just money on the prepaid card account. It's not earning interest, but we let parents set the interest rate. So you can see way down here, I'm paying 12%. Easy math for me, 1% a month, right? APY. And she's actually earning money towards her savings goals in a meaningful way, not in any way that she would have from a bank, right? She's actually seeing progress towards her Apple Watch and a puppy. And that one is going to just keep moving up, I think. And then this is really crazy. If you want to know what is the average interest rate that parents are paying their children on Greenlight, this might be an argument that we're not setting them up for realistic expectations in life, but it's 18%. I think that's skewed. A lot of parents are doing 100% and actually matching. It's like a dollar for dollar kind of matching. Here's more. Just we love it when like the kids meet their savings goals, and then parents will send us the photos of the kid buying whatever they were saving for. It's a lot of video game crap, but there's an iPad. But hey, that's the whole idea, right? And then like we've had some submitted to us. We said, hey, does your kid have a heartwarming savings goal? So here's Haley, age 14, saving $10,000 for Congress 2021. So it's really fun to see these kids. And then here is like a word cloud of the quantity of donations that Greenlight kids have given by charity. St. Jude's, I mean, if that doesn't, get you going, that's pretty awesome to see these kids. And then, of course, 5,000 to help the poor. We love seeing that. There you go. That's a very quick rundown with 12 seconds left. One question. Yeah. Yeah. So today it's just use chores, and you can say earn all A's, read every day, whatever, and you just pay that out. You can do one-time chores, so you pay out those. We are building what we call educational challenges framework, but we're also building real-world challenges. So this is a fantastic example of what parents are doing. It was a Monday morning. I had a random email from somebody I didn't know in my Gmail, not my work, and it was our experience with Greenlight. It was a mom with 6 kids who took her kids to Disney World and got them all Greenlight cards, and she wrote and illustrated a 48-page activity book with each page being a different activity they could do to earn money on their card to spend at the park, right? So make a gift list and your budget for who you're going to buy a gift for, you get $10. Take a photo of 3 different food items at Epcot, right, from 3 different countries, and you get $20 to buy more food. So parents are already doing this just on their own. So yeah, you will see us start to like integrate with, I want Fitbit, right? I want to get the kids to go exercise as one of their chores, and I want to know it and not have to like be a lie detector. Yes, sir.
First, your product is fantastic. Congratulations. I think it's very nice. You have
Thank
a
you.
tremendous potential, in my opinion, to go outside US to other countries or to partnerships, licensing this, because this can be a great differentiation product for a lot of these digital banks that are coming are looking for niche markets. Second, I have a question for you. The product is nice. I just want to understand, how do you make money?
Great question. Parents pay $5 a month today, subscription fee for the whole family. So it's $4.99 for 2 parents and up to 5 kids. And then, of course, we're in the interchange. We're in, prepaid interchange, which is pretty good. Not very much. We're getting like less than $1 in interchange on these kids because it's 12-year-olds. They just don't spend. So people say, can't you have a free product? We could have a free product and we would lose money all day. Like we need to be able to make a little bit of money. But we do believe that steady state of the market, 5 years from now, there's a free product. We may have one, but what we're doing first is we're partnering with banks. So we have some banks who've invested in the company, SunTrust, Synchrony, Ally, and then some bigger banks soon that we'll announce, where they will be offering Greenlight for free to their customers. And what's really cool about that is they're seeing exactly what you just mentioned, is this platform, once it's integrated into core banking and debit processing, can be used for a lot of other things, small business cards, parent, authorized user cards, even just parents like PFM, just building a budget. And so it's like a lot of these banks will be building integrations with Greenlight to launch our core product, but then using that tech for other products. Thank you.
Quick question on, I know this subject's probably not as fun, but what about for elder care? I mean, for protecting, our aging
So
parents.
people are doing it now because it triggers fraud for us every time because we see 45-year-old mom, 82-year-old kid. And you're like, whoa. So we always look at those very carefully. And you don't have to put in kids' age, but we ask it as an optional field. So that's how we see that. And so we actually studied it a lot. We even had fun thinking of the name. It would probably be called Silverlight. I don't know what we call it. But the challenge with it became, we're a venture-backed company. We've raised a lot of money, and it's all about rapid growth. When you tell a parent, do you want a debit card for your kid? That parent can say, yes, absolutely. I want it right now. And they'll sign up, and you can get millions of those every day. If you tell me and my dad, who probably is about there, to sign him up and take over his money, because I'm not going to give him my money, screw that. But I would control his money and his spending to protect him. But that's not something I can just say yes to right now. And so when we got into it, we realized that's a great ancillary product that we can offer one day, but when we're in like scale, blitz mode, probably not right now. It's a different dynamic, but just as true.